you feature Gantt charts. Do you want to give some insight as to, as a user, why would the viewers at home be interested in Gantt charts?
Well, there happens to be an article in our next newsletter about Gantt charts.
Oh, great. Tell us, what is this Gantt chart? When does it live?
The visual scheduler, traditionally, as we know, has a lovely view for by day, by week, by multi-day we call it, and by employee view. Employee view is probably, from my point of view, the most useful when managing a team of employees, because it lets you see for a particular day what each employee is doing, not muddled up with the others, and you can easily move stuff around and assign stuff to it. The downside of the employee view is you can really only see a limited number of employees on the screen at one time. And if you have more employees than actually fit on the screen, then you have to scroll sideways in order to view those other employees. Probably just expand it. So right now I can go sideways and I can see more employees, but I can't actually see Trevor on the screen when I'm in my first view. So it becomes, and then imagine if we didn't have 10 or 15, but we had 20, 30, 50 or 100 employees, it becomes really cumbersome to manage the employees in this view. The Gantt chart resolved this problem. So with the Gantt chart gives me a list of the employees down the left and the times, days, weeks, months across the top. So in this case, you can see, I can see Trevor in this view, and I can probably see about 20 odd people in the view. Then of course, beyond 20, you do have to scroll up and down, but it's much more logical in terms of how vertical scrolling is much more conceptually logical than horizontal scrolling. It just works better. So that is our Gantt chart view. Same as the visual scheduler, I can still drag things left and right. If I want to change the start time, I drag it to the left. If I want to change the finish time, I extend it to the right. If I want to move it to another person, I drag it up or drag it down to the relevant people. I can still drag and drop, use it exactly the same way as I use the visual scheduler, but the view is now much better suited to handling multiple people at one time. It also has another advantage over the visual scheduler, in that the visual scheduler will only show you realistically one day at a time in its employee view. This is for a particular day. The Gantt view will allow you to span that view over multiple time periods. So if I change this from hours to days, I now see days across the top. And I can see over the next week or so on what actually is going on for each of these periods, and I can just expand it to be a little bit wider there. I could also have a look at a week's view, similarly, and I can get a view visually of what everyone's doing weeks in advance for each employee. And then, of course, I'm not sure how realistically useful it is, but then we can also have a month's view. We can go and see what's going ahead, months and so on. So that's the advantage of the Gantt chart. Two things. One is we can more easily handle multiple people in one go. And secondly is we can actually look forward over multiple time periods for each of those people, which the visual scheduler cannot currently do.